Okay, we got here to the job site where today we are installing 2 handicap operators on these 2 doors. Let's see what we got. So we have this one here and those wooden doors. Okay. Alright, now we can get started with the day. Grab our stuff that we need.
So we were going to wire it yesterday, but the electrician said, let you play.
Alright, so now that we decided with the customer where everything will go, we can start getting started on bring what we need to the site. We're gonna be putting an operator up there and up there, button. Alright, let's do this. In my last videos we did how to install a Ditec H88 operator, and this time we'll use my new favorite operator, the Micom, and that should be good for us. We shouldn't have any issues, and I can guide you guys through the install and the setup. Grab my screws. First part, let's drop. Okay, so it turns out there was some silicone inside of these wires. Alright. Okay. So take these down. So now, first step I like to do, let's open up the box now that that's off. This is how it comes. Grab my knife. Okay, there's our operator. And here's the arm. Can leave that for later. To do is to take off the motor and the board. Not strong enough to install it with everything in place. Instructions: take out, disconnect this guy, disconnect motor control. Now come here from under, grab the nut, grab the screw, put it aside. Grab the nut, grab the screw, put it aside. And now one more. This one here, no nut. And we can pull it out. Put this aside. Now you can see that you have this nut right here. You can have it free and we can move it afterwards when we're getting ready to install this. Okay, so because in this case it's a little bit weird, not typical, where we're gonna have to leave it hanging off of the frame like this. So what we want to make sure is that we're not accidentally pre-drilling on the top part, on the bottom part, and then we'll be able to see them when we look from this side. We want them to all be hidden and secure. So in this case, what we'll do is we're going to attach 3 here. That will hold us to that portion of the frame. And then we'll stitch a couple here at the top. Minimum 6 or 8 screws, I would say. I like to use about 10 screws because I like to sleep good at night and not to worry about it falling. One down. And I might end up doing a couple more here. We'll see once it's up, because that I can always do afterward. Dump all the aluminum. Okay. Bring it up to the top of the ladder. Get this part ready. And grab your screws so you can do this. What's important to note here, unlike this one, where we won't have any problems with the arm, here when we install it, it's very important to recognize that you have the edge here, and so you want to make sure that when the arm goes, it clears it. So you might want to pre-install, once you have the header, install the motor and just ensure that it's going through. Alright, let's get this out of the way. Let's tuck this up. Put a screw in our hand. Okay, holding with one screw at the moment, but basically that looks good. Now we can start to stitch it. We'll put one more here to be on the safe side, and one more here. Okay, now that we got that all secured, we can bring this here. Remember that little nut that we talked about? Here it is. We don't need to get it perfect now. Basically, you can put this operator in. Okay. Now I try to line it up best I can. You can even take this little pokey and bring it to the center of it. Alright, now we can grab our screws and the nuts. We like nuts. And then you can bring it through. You don't need so many extensions. Here we got partially through. Now before I go all the way in, I grab my nut, put it on top, and it compresses itself. Same with this one. I might have to move it. Of course. Happens to the best of us. Let's loosen this one instead. Why isn't this in line? There we go. Good, that's lined up. And let's see, is this not still lined up? No. Now let's see if it lines up. Yeah, lined up. Now that we got this, might as well connect this guy and connect this guy. Now, here, since we're already going over it, here's where you hook up your power lines. So, very important, you can take this out. You're hooking up black to line, white to neutral, or vice versa. Do not plug into PE unless it's a ground wire, or else the whole board will go. Okay, here you got your access control and here you have your regular functions, your Act 1 ground, that's to control your push buttons outside, so on. Won't be using any of the other contacts, different story. If I ever needed to use it, I wouldn't use it. I just put a CX33 or a CX12 and then bypass all of that, much easier. The most important thing with the operator, with this Micom, is that if you don't know, you don't know. And then you ask yourself, why isn't it working? So the reason you plugged it all up, you have all the power and everything going, and it's not working, is because you didn't hook up your switch. So feed it through the first one. I already popped these out off camera. It takes 2 seconds. You just punch it with a screwdriver and a hammer and then twist. Test, good, working. Okay, this guy straight down here, and now everything will work. Now, unfortunately, they didn't run us power this time, so what we'll have to do is run an extension cord temporarily. That way we can test all the features. Now, you guys might have already noticed an issue here, is that the operator is sitting lower than the door, and so when we put the arm here, there's nowhere for the arm to attach to. It's all glass. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a custom metal plate here that will attach from here to here. In the box we have this guy, and this guy. So first we want to release this one. Put it up here. Grab your arm. So your arm needs to go basically 90 degrees, no matter what. That's just how it goes. Now, you could cheat, you can do whatever you want, but this is the way this one gets done. We can tighten this up just for the security. This usually I leave to the end. Don't forget it. So now we know, based on what we just did, and what we do is we take this guy and we take the other arm, and these slide into each other. And these slide into here. And what this allows you to do, now that this is closed, you know that it will have to be right around here. So I'll mark it all up. But basically, if you were doing this on a regular door, so you put it in, you secure it. What I like to do is I like to give it a little bit of a extra little push once it's in the neutral position, then tighten down the screws. What that allows for is to build that extra pressure on the spring prior to you actually putting it on learn mode and then teaching the door the operation. Okay, so let's say we got the arm, even if this was a regular door, so if we wanted it right here. Okay, so this is where, even with this under pressure, this is roughly where we want it. Not too close to the center, but not too close to the hinge side. Let's mark the side that we want. Okay, right around here. So now, because this is a little bit different, we're going to take this plate we made, we're going to put it up here, and that should work for us. So we'll be right here. I'll cover up that old hole so it doesn't look ugly. Re-drill. Pre-drill. Okay. Okay, nice and tight, nice and tight, and we'll add another 2 to the top there. Got our countersink, pre-drilled the steel. Okay, grab this, grab 2 screws. Oh, got a black one by accident. Silver, silver. Now we got a mark for 1/4 by 20. So what I'll do is I'll take this, and like this one here, and then this one, I'm gonna go right here. Now that we have our plate on and it's threaded too, we have the ability, as long as the screws are not hitting the glass, we are good. Okay, very good. Far from the glass. This one. Tighten, there you go. What I had to do is I had to lower it about a 1/4 inch just so this manages to be nice and straight with this. I did swap over the screws of this one to the bottom side. They are reversible if you need to put them on top or the bottom. So that's done. Now I'll just secure those extra 2 and then we'll continue on. Okay, now we're gonna take our 10mm and now let's put this guy into this end, close the door. Okay, so this door is all the way closed. Now I'm putting my foot here because it's dog-eared, so I can add a little bit of pressure. You see? Not much. That's more than enough, more than plenty. One, secure this side. Okay, and we can do these ones pretty easily. Okay, now the door is connected and this passes. If, let's say, for some reason this isn't passing here, or you have trim, you can always bring this one to the bottom and just flip it around. You shouldn't have any issues. And because they did not run the power cables yet for us, what I'm going to do is I have here a plug, an extra one, and we'll secure it, and that way we can hook it up to the power outlet over there and do the setup on it. And remember, we're using the 2 bottom the line and the neutral, no PE. You do that, you'll get a big boom. Okay, before we hook it up to the power, I'm gonna release this one, swap it with this guy. And now we can actually plug this in, bring this to up here or something, hold it with a piece of tape. And now you can see the operator is on. Here we're going to make sure it's in the on position, and now we can start doing the learn. So you have the Micom phone number here. Now we're ready to do the learn process. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit and hold the test for 3 seconds, let go. Now it says relearn, push enter to confirm. That means you press enter, click it. Now the door is going to start swinging open. We get off the ladder, and now the motor will start bringing it over. We're going to position our foot where we want the final destination to be. So this is 90, and now we're going to open here 120. That's how much we want it. We're going to put our foot there until the door is going to start to come back to us. Now we can let go once the door is coming back, and it should make a full close. Very good. Now that we did the learn procedure, if we click test or learn, it will open the door normally, but we want to change some settings. So opening speed, there's up to 12. We're going to leave it at 10. Then we're going to press menu for the next one. Back check, we can decrease or increase. I don't like back check too fast. I like to have it easy on the motor. Then safety speed next, closing speed. Closing speed, it goes all the way up to, wow, a lot, 15. Okay, so closing speed, we'll put it at 7. Latching speed, we can leave it at 1, it doesn't matter. That's just going to count from 10% to close. We can raise it up, but we're going to use the force close anyways. So activation time, this is a church for elderly people, so we'll put this at 7 seconds for now. Electronic door stop, no, but you can leave it on yes, it's just not hooked up. Electronic lock, yes or no, it automatically comes as yes. That's for these guys to have power. We're not using it, so it's not, doesn't matter. That's the electric lock delay for the electric strike. You have the latch position, 10%, we're going to leave it. It can go down to 2%. Back check position, that's when it's going to start the back check, that's at 80%, we can leave it. Push and go, no, that's to assist you. Push and go active, no. Put power close, we're going to put yes. And power close force, I'm going to put it at 7. And then door seal, we're not using. Factory reset, daylight, low energy. Pull before open, yes, in this case. Actually, we don't need it, so we'll leave it as no because there's no electric strike. Reverse on obstruction, yes. Power shut, no. Power shut force, and then that's your serial number, and we're back to the beginning. So now we're going to test it. So to test it here, because we don't have buttons yet, we're going to press it one time quick, and this is essentially the operation of the operator. We do still need to tighten that Allen screw on the side there, but now it will close and shut all the way to 100%. The reason we did the power shut is in case you have the dogging mechanism here and for some reason it's getting caught on it, it's a little stiff, it will actually pull the door shut. So as you just saw, even if I put my hand here pretending I'm the wind, it will actually force my hand and the door to fully close. That's the power force feature that we love about this unit. One of the things they requested on this unit was to have the wireless push buttons because they're going to go outside. So we're going to need to steal some cable. and we're going to be using the Camden door control receiver, the CX90 CMRX90V2 with the whole shebang on it. And what we'll do is we'll splice some wires so we can hook it up to the power, and so we can hook it up to whatever else we need. Got these, spliced them. 2, 3, and 4. Same thing on this side, and we'll hook them up to here, and I'll show you that in a second. Got our red hooks up to number 1. That's gonna be our power. I gotta get a small screwdriver. Now that we got our wires all hooked up to this, we'll put a Velcro, have it sitting up here or something. And the reason being is because I want to shove this antenna and have it sticking out of the aluminum, so the outer button will get better reception. Alright, we hooked up the receiver. So we got our normally open and common. These two run to Act 1 and ground. Doesn't matter which one, Act 1 or ground between them. But then we have our red and black AC in 12. We ran it to 12 and to the ground. So that's giving us power. This is giving us our signal. When they wave, this will pick it up and send it to here, opening the door. We got here the laser point that works with the Camden 90. This is called the transmitter TX9. It's a very good one. It gets works from very far distances. Never had an issue. So now that this is powered up, we're gonna go here, hold the two ends away from each other, press push button, PB1, that's your learn. You got the green light in there. Now we're gonna touch these. We got the red light. Touch again, and now it should work. Okay, that's working. Now behind the scenes, I did switch this to the RX91. For some reason, that RX90, the common, the normally open, even though it registered, for some reason it wasn't sending the signal. Call it defective, call it whatever you want, but that's why we always carry extras. Even good products once in a while have a little bit of a problem. We'll peel this silly Velcro tape off, and we'll put this antenna through the hole we just made. Come on, here we go. And now we'll twist this around. And now we got this sitting up here, and we got the antenna sitting there. And now we know here. Let's show you guys. We touch these, and now the door opens. That was what was supposed to happen. And like I said, don't forget about tightening this guy real tight. Don't be embarrassed, because it's got to be real tight. You don't want to come all the way just for something silly like that. And this one we need to tighten. We forgot that. Okay. And that's it. Now, essentially, we can disconnect the power, leave it for the electrician, leave him a little note where to plug it in, put the cover in, and that's it. We're good to go. Alright, so now that we have the box mounted, we did that just with the SDS, we can put these guys on. One here, we got one here, and then basically we're gonna use the Mul-T-Lock, grab our programmed transmitter. We got one, and have this one here. Door shouldn't open yet. If you see, it's still closed because they've been disconnected, but if I press the button, and it opens. So now our only thing is we got to shove these guys into here, and then we're gonna put the button on, Okay, now we can basically screw it with the Allen key that's provided. So as you can see, we have this button over here on the outside one. Click that, receiver turns on, door opens, we're good to go. We can disconnect what we don't need, disconnect this, and that's it. I'll put the cover on and we're good to go. In case you don't know how to put the cover on, let's do this. So we have our cover, bottom in first, like that. Okay, that's not like the Hunters or Hortons where it's got to be perfectly sitting in the upper groove. It will actually pull itself into the channel it needs. And that's it. Nice, flush, complete operator. And they will bring the power with the conduit down and through this hole here. I'll just tell him where to mark it. But that's it. We are all finished with this one. Now we can move to the one above us. So, as you can see, we put the second header up. Now, I did make it flush with this. Now you see this lip here. Watch what happens with this. See how it hits? So, not a big deal. This guy comes out and we're gonna shove it from here. It doesn't matter if these are up or down in this case. All is okay. I can grab the vice grip and tighten that. Okay, so just like before, release these. Can mount this one. And now we can decide where we want it. Okay, and so this will be right around here, and then when this gets pushed that little bit extra, it's here. Okay, so let's mark this. 1, 2. Okay, pre-drilled a little bit. 1 screw down. This straight through. Okay. Now sometimes for installation, I do recommend to use a sex bolt, so that actually be something that we might end up doing here. I did before. The only thing is that the door's kind of moving on me. So we know this one's got to be. Can tighten this one off so they're not both moving. You know, gonna push it like that. And now do it again. It's a little tricky because the door is pushing against me. Okay. Now we're good. Okay. That's all tightened up. Now everything clears and everything's working. Now we can hook up, like I said, the receiver, the buttons, and program it. So basically, here is what the final outcome is. This is our premier door. That's our button. That's our inside, and the 2 buttons over there. Sorry, and this guy right here.